Und damit willkommen, meine Lieben, zurück zu The Great Ace Chronicles. Ausnahmsweise von diesem Startpunkt und nicht direkt in Game drin. Hier uns lieber Kazuma. Unrelated. Is that what you want to say? How can you be so sure? What did you mean? Ja, das ist immer so die Frage, was man sich dann eigentlich damit meint. Muss man mal sagen. Never mind. That man is the rebound. It's for that reason that the inspector was killed. I'm going to prove as much in court tomorrow, whatever means necessary. I can't let you do that, Kazuma. I know you'll do what you'll have to as a lawyer, but I'm sure I don't need to tell you that I won't be talking any prisoner in the courtroom. I won't expect nothing less until tomorrow, then in the Old Bailey. Da haben wir dann auch nichts Nennenswertes mehr. A new location, oh. Okay, dann schauen wir mal, was in der Forensik los ist. Vor allem, wer da jetzt nennenswerterweise ist, muss man sagen. Keine Ahnung. 2. November. Forensic Laboratory. This place really is creepy, isn't it? Well, being a dead room, it's probably full of the spirits of the dissected, but actually there's a rather pleasing sense of roses in the air. I'll be in a dead room. The corona probably needs a pulse sense like that to mask the odor of death. Iris, do you think we could change the subject? What was that? Ich denke mal, da wetzt irgendjemand gerade sein Messer, würde ich behaupten. Dr. Gorey. What? That noise before I was sharpening my tools. I'd be dead meat that I didn't keep a perfectly keen edge on them. Right. When following the college, again 3 bursts in the dermis on expertly sharpened scalpel. I cuts like cheese. Would you like a demonstration? Oh yes, please. If I'd love to see. Then I think you'll do nicely. No, I wouldn't do nicely at all. I mean, maybe some other time. What of that untold? Well, we came here to ask questions, so... The time of death. I mean, here, we have actually met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember. You're not dead yet. What? So Mama said I wasn't so cute. You open. She's so strict about things like that. Well, good. Dr. Thies has some scruples at least. Oh dear. It looks like she's not interested in talking to you for the time being anyway. For the time being, you mean until we did die? I hope that's a way off. Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. Surely there's some less drastic way of making her listen. Jetzt wird dann eher irgendwas präsentieren. Das zum Beispiel hier, oder? Could I ask your opinion about this? Oder müssen wir da... Don't forget, you're responsible for putting my mom in jail. Why should I help you? Also irgendwas müssen wir jetzt halt präsentieren. Dr. Gorey, you actually came here to ask you about this. He was very good. Good, sorry. His skin didn't snag my blade once, and very little mess. He is joints disclotted easily, and muscle juice was a pleasure to work with. We can skip those details. But there is one thing about the reports that caught my attention. You don't seem to have recorded time of death. Ja, die Todeszeit fehlt. That's not my fault. Oh, that made me jump. Oh man, sieht viel zu käsig aus, I guess. Then please tell us what happened. So why doesn't this out of series but included the victim's time of death then? It's really the most critical detail. I was told not to write it. What? Whom? Neil Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice, he came here. Lord Strongheart came, he said that the witnesses' statements about the gunshot and the other evidence, it was obviously the man clearly died at 5 p.m. on the 1st November when the gunshot was heard. But it's not the time of death you wrote on the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it? Ja, was für einen Grund hattest du? Dr. Gorey, if you're hiding something under Lord Strongheart's instructions, then sooner or later you're going to go the same way as your mother. Give it here, sir. And describing so furiously. There, you have written. What is she written? Tell me. In her mind. Also das muss ich jetzt erstmal fairerweise mal wieder. Moment, das will ich jetzt erstmal wieder. Time Access intern. Moment. Unbestimmt. Okay. Mal schauen, was sie dazu zu sagen hat. What do you mean by that? Why was the time of death undetermined? When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh, so the time of death could easily If coincidence was when the gunshot was heard, but there was one small discrepancy. There was some freed fish in the pocket of the specimen's overcut. Waren die jetzt gerade mit den frittierten Fisch? Den gebratenen Fisch, okay. And that fish had started to rot. What? If it's a victim like a freed fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went off. Well, yes, what are you really trying to say? It's possible that some tried to manipulate the apparent time of death. Is that even possible to do? Theoretically, if you were to chill the body in ice, you could delay the onset of putrefaction. And if the overcut wasn't on the body at the time, then only the fish would have started to rot. With today's science, it's not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not. But today's science is advanced enough to let freezer crops, it seems. But surely to chill a crops like that would require an enormous electrical refrigerator, and I don't imagine many households in London are quite with such a device. No, definitely not, but maybe in a factory or some other special places. I don't recall seeing any factories or such like on Fresno Street Road. I wonder if the inspector's body had been chilled somehow. What might the actual time of death have been? I couldn't say for sure. But the most it might have been a day earlier. No. In other words, it would corroborate your previous deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. That Inspector Gregson was killed a day before his body was discovered at a different location. Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility? He simply said that there were no electrical refrigerators of that size in the Victini. Als Victini? Damit gewinnt man doch immer. If you don't mind, then sorry. Not now, or my baby here might start to rust. I think perhaps we had better leave Dr. Gorey alone. Maybe we could try again later if we manage to find some more clues. Jetzt ist natürlich die Frage, wo müssen wir wieder hin? Naja. Können wir ja mal so den ganzen Kladderadatsch mal wieder abgehen. Vielleicht ändert sich wieder was. Also zumindest geht davon aus, muss man sagen. Hier ist auch nichts los. Oder muss ich hier wieder irgendjemandem was präsentieren? Weil bisher konnte ich... What's that? Isn't something what I hope ask you opening that all. Yeah. I think we have a relationship now. Okay, das bringt hier nichts. Fresno Street. Ist der Budget? Da war ja bislang noch niemand. Aber es ändert sich was. Das ist schon mal was Positives, muss man sagen. Zweiter noch was. Scenarios Hospital. What? Right? This is the word. Mr. Mitchell was brought apparently. Be frank, I'm a little worried about seeing him again. Ah, the lawyer. Hello again. Are you feeling better now, Mr. Virtual? Yes, thank you. Somewhat better. I'm so sorry sorry to have accused you to, I was because of me. If I hadn't exposed your secret and forced you to remember things you'd obviously tried to forget. The prosecutor was here until a few moments ago, too. You just visited him. Oh, Summer beat us to it. He said much the same as you. He was very apologetic, but the truth is, brought all this open myself. Please don't think like that. Keeping it from Evie, my wife, all these years, I've carried such a sense of guilt. But that's not the worst of it. Over time, I obviously came to decide myself as well. You mean about your dismissal? Looking back now, I'm beginning to think that perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all. I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as his stand-in. He was clearly concerned for my well-being and doing what he called to help. So perhaps Gregson exactly what had become of Mr. Mitchell all along then. I am sure this is just desert for 10 years of lies and deception, but it wasn't me that helped the professor escape 10 years ago. It wasn't me. I swear it's true. Oh, Mr. Virtual. I'm sure you'd rather not stretch open more from your past at this time, but if possible, could you tell us actually what really happened? I need to get all this off my chest. I want someone to tell me what I should have done. Oh, ach nee. Wann was das? Corrections Request, meine Güte. Ja, auf jeden Fall noch ein bisschen was erfahren, muss man sagen, und dann mal schauen, was das soll. Inspector Gregson was obviously engaged in a special operation of some sort. Investigating something that even Scotland Yard could know about that. Details, the Reaper marks, yes. It was when he had to carry out those investigations, then I would take identification and impersonate him. You intend to be an inspector and carry out investigation on this behalf. Oh no, a on street peddler could possibly carry out a proper police investigation. All I would do is go to the specific location and make us little and just something to leave an impression. So everyone there would like Detective Colette Gregson was here. So what you were doing on the day prior to the incident? Yes, he asked me to make an appearance at the park on Lamb Street for the Red Heat legal event. So as usual, I flashed the inspector identification around and was very vocal about my presence. But then you were taken prisoner by those red-heated fraudsters. Yes, so you would always make a point of showing corrections in the identification generally being allowed. That's what the inspector asked me to do, yes. Well, that's one way of becoming a legendary detective. I suppose not a good one thought. And as you know, I suffered this bruising around my neck at first hand. But the following day, they kept their word and released me without turning the inspector identification to you. However, we need arrange to meet in the Fresno Street room at 5 at the day, so could report back to the inspector, but the agreed time, that's when I heard the gunshot. Man, oh man, oh man. Prisoner's escape. It was at midnight on 17 June 10 years ago. That was the time scheduled for the execution, but the professor execution never actually took place, did it? Or rather, the execution itself must have been used to effect the plan of escape. I dare to mention what a chilling plan it was. Die zumindest so, I guess, würde ich mal behaupten. Berkeley was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. Everything that went in or out of the place was searched multiple times. But there was one notable exception, or rather one notable local, something that was never questioned. I have a feeling I know what that loophole was. Was wie gesagt damit fairerweise muss man mal schauen. Ach, Schlupfloch. Mit Herausgeber kann ich halt im ersten Moment nichts nennenswerterweise anfangen, muss man sagen. Und ich weiß auch nicht genau immer, auf was die sich dann beziehen wollen, also dementsprechend muss ich da immer meistens ein bisschen übersetzen. The coffin into which the bodies is executed convicted were placed, correct? Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a convicted victim, the body was taken in its coven for amending burial in Lowgate Cemetery just behind the prison. The chief order first had to seek the necessary papers, and after that no member of staff was permitted to touch the coffin containing its body again. Das kann ja dann danach nachgerührt oder wie? When executions took place, only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would wait in the adjacent room for word that the condemned convicted was dead. On that occasion, once I had the confirmation, I went into the mortuary to find a long coffin as usual. The procedure was that I was seeing the paperwork having checked the coffin that nailed it showed. But for some reasons that day, the coffin was already nailed shut. No, I didn't think anything of it at the time. I used that my deputy must have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived. So you mean the coffin contained it? Yes, I can only imagine that Asogi have escaped his execution somehow, alive inside the coffin. The coffin was then taken out through the main gates and deposited in Lowgate Cemetery. Presumably there wouldn't have been enough air inside to breathe for long. So in the early hours following the burial, somebody dug up the coffin again to set Genshin free, but in the end, he was fatally shot in the graveyard anyway. What on earth really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night, I wonder? I'm afraid really I don't know. All I can say with certainty are two things. Asogi couldn't possibly have escaped that way without help from somebody working in the prison, and that somebody was not me. Okay, aber was er sonst noch so als der Convict Asogi sagen wird und was dann noch so von sich geht, dies und vieles mehr erfahren wir beim nächsten Mal. Vielen Dank fürs Einschalten und bis zum nächsten Mal. Auf Wiedersehen.